Okay, all right. So today class is called Happy Feet. Even though a lot of the things that we do with grounding from our feet. We talk about the four corners of our feet, but we're really going to work them today. So if you need a ball, let me know as we get going. And let's just take a few moments. If you are able, or if you need blocks under your feet to touch the floor, let's close our eyes. And we're going to be grateful for our feet. So find that grounding through the floor. If you can, maybe you need to scoot forward a little bit so all spots of our feet are on the floor. Finding connection. And just notice what that feels like. Got your toe pads. Got several different arches. Some spots won't touch, but that's okay. So just be aware of your feet today. You can wiggle your toes to just let them know you're thinking of them. You're going to have happy feet today. So as we go through a lot of the poses, we'll continue the same. You may add a couple different ones, add some stretches, but be aware of your feet. What can you do to have happy feet? And breathing in, holding at the top for a couple seconds. Exhaling on your own pattern. It's okay if I hear your breathing. You can open your eyes. Let's move a little forward to our chair, and I want all four corners. Some people talk of our feet as even a truck with big wheels. So you can imagine it that way, but whatever way you imagine, just touching each of the areas of your foot on the ground as we do this. We're going to find our neutral pelvis. So I find I have to kind of scoot forward so that my belly goes back to the chair. You can have hands on thighs, forward and back, cat-cow, puffing up those shoulders, really feeling the tension in our belly as we move forward and back, breathing as we go. Opening up those shoulders, opening up that heart as well. I feel like as I come forward, my feet are there's a little more pressure on my feet. How about you? So try not to compress that lower back as we open up. So that means we really have to tighten that core. Coming forward, protecting. Stronger your core, the stronger your back. Should feel really good on the spine. Breathing, opening up. start by taking our right ear to our right shoulder. And notice, I want you to add a little more weight to that right foot as you do that. Maybe press it into the floor a little more. And then nose to shoulder. And ear to shoulder. So we're playing around with the pressure we put on our feet while we're also turning our head, stretching out the neck, allowing a little bit more brain plasticity, and just flow gently through nose to shoulder, ear to shoulder, and then come to center. Drop the left ear, to the left shoulder. When you're ready, nose to shoulder. And this time, switch the weight a little bit more. I feel it all the way up in my glute when I do that. Putting pressure on that left foot. Can you do about 70%? Because you still have your right foot pressing. And then flow gently through. So we're taxing our brain a little bit as we do one thing with our head and the other pressure with our foot. Feeling. Our bodies are amazing that we can do 2 or 3 different things at the same time. And we're also breathing and not even realizing. And then come to center again, and let's equal out the pressure in both feet. Sorry, I do this all the time. I see you guys following me. That's okay. And let's circle the neck. Be aware of what your core is doing. So circle it one way, turn the other way, circle it. Equal pressure in both feet. And drop the chin to the chest. Really feel that stretch. Oh, it feels so good. Stretching out that C7 and then coming back to neutral. So now imagine your skull, your spine, and your sacrum all in alignment. Press into those glutes. Come up a little bit off that chair when you do that. And relax. Press into the glutes. Up a little bit. All the way down through the thighs. Do you feel that? And release. And what do your feet seem like when you do that? I feel like I'm pressing my feet into the floor. Relax. Good job. Now let's start our marching. Same hand. Just going to do it all at once. Same hand, same leg. Notice how that feels on your feet. So we're switching. Intent. Rather than worrying about what our arms are doing, we're noticing our feet in this. Noticing our core and our feet. Now, the hard part, switch up. I always have to stop. Opposite arm, opposite foot. What does that feel like for your feet? Are you on your tippy toes? Are you coming all the way through? And it's okay, whatever way you do it. Just notice what that feels like on your feet. Maybe you want to have your toes grab the floor when you come down. And then come to a rest. Come out with your arms. We're going to make an X. And I want those feet equal. 50% on each foot. Come to the center. Open up. Come to the center. Open up. Come to the center. Open up. And then bring to the center, and we're going to do our W. Open up. Press those toes into the ground when you do this. Watch your diaphragm. Keep that core stable so that you don't overemphasize, but it's all in one line. And then come together. Open up. This is helping us. This is our exercise that we do. Come together against the wall. help our posture come together. Open up. We're going to turn to our left. Feel that. Did you lift up out of your pelvis before you turned? I didn't say it. Come to the center. Lift up and turn. Center, lift up, turn to the left. What are your feet doing when you turn? Come to the center. Ready to turn, lift up and turn. What's the pressure like in your feet? And center. Now I want you to sit back in the chair and we're going to straighten our legs. We're going to dorsiflex our feet so that toes are to the nose, flexing. Really stretch out the back of that calf. And plantar flex, point the toes, Barbie toes. Feel that in the front of your calf. Those who have been gardening may feel this. Let's do some circles with both of the feet. Doesn't matter which way. And then the other way. Open our toes. Working those tendons. Can you wiggle maybe one or two without the other ones? There's one yoga gal that does one toe at a time, and I'm thinking, wow. We'll get to that next year. Because it's just hard to keep them apart, but you are doing amazing things. Now, plantar flex to release that. Breathing with your core, don't let your core slouch, and then dorsiflex again. Circle again. Happy feet. Now we're going to do eversion. So the outside of our foot comes toward the ground. I was going to say peds, the soles of our feet, as if they're saying hello to each other. That's eversion. It's hard. You feel it in your ankles and all the way up the outside. Now turn them so that they're facing down, and we're going to go inversion. Your knees will come a little bit together. And some of us who have bunions still have that lovely little bump there, but we're going to try and turn that foot so that the inside of the foot is facing down. That hurts. Neutral, eversion. Good for preventing sprains because we're strengthening those ankles. Normal or neutral, and then inversion. Having happy feet, we're strengthening our feet. Now just pedal those feet back and forth. So you're going plantar flex, dorsiflex. You can do them at the same time. It doesn't matter. You're just getting lots of motion going. And I'm going to add some circles with mine. Good job. Now take your balls if you have them. Who needs a ball?
I ended up with an extra one. Oh,
Anybody? Got one? Everybody have a ball? Let's start with our right foot. Joanne was nice to bring socks if you want a sock for your ball.
wow.
Raise your hand, I can bring it, but we're going to start at the top of the pad of the foot, just under the toes, and do our little circles or Z pattern. So I'm going round and round, feeling that. The pads of the toes are our sinuses. And I've got those sheets if any of you want the reflexology chart later. And work it to the outside where our shoulder is. Shoulder reflexology points by the pinky toe, right below it. Work that a little bit. Reflexologists work that with their fingers when people are having shoulder issues. Then we're going to go from our shoulder back to the middle and work that whole pad of the foot, being gentle. Little circles or a Z pattern. You may feel some spots that are tender. That's okay. Lighten up a little bit on them. And then work yourself again to the outside of the foot. And then we're going to do our circles on the outside, coming down. About halfway. Find a little spot. And I want you to go up and down Z pattern in that arch area. This is an area that can be real tender with that fascia, plantar fasciitis. Be gentle with it, but work it around. Do some circles. I see some of you going into your Zen mode, closing your eyes. Either circles or that little Z pattern, back and forth, just releasing. Maybe you want to take your thigh and just really push it down in that area to give a little more emphasis on pressure. And then work yourself back when you're ready to the outside again. And we're going to go that lower arch where the insertion of the fascia comes. And we're going to, again, do those little circles. It can be tender here. So be gentle with yourselves. Getting some good knee, thigh movements with it. Sometimes just a hand on that leg helps you to notice how much we're working that leg. And then come down to the heel and do circles or Z pattern. Work that heel. That kind of gets the brunt of things when we're walking. Joggers feel it. Sometimes they can get a bruised heel bone. And then come to the inside. We're going to work our way up on the inside. As we go, you can turn your foot down, the inversion that we talked about, as we work our way up to the base of that upper arch. It's tender on me because I have a lovely bunion. So be gentle, little circles just to say thank you for being able to support the weight that we put on it daily. Take it for granted sometimes. And then work up to the upper toe, the big toe. And then give that big toe a little love. If you want to, sometimes I try to grab that ball with it. We're not going to be able to pick these balls up, but it just feels good to grab that toe. Allow that toe the movement. You may feel it all the way up in that upper calf when you do that. And some of you maybe in your thigh. Now, we're going to pass off to the left foot. And let's start on the out part under the pinky toe. And we're going to move to the inside. So we're going to work at the base of those toes. And the toe pads can touch the ball. Little circles or a Z pattern. Feel that. I'm going to push even more on my thigh to get a little more pressure. And work to the inside as you go. And then little circles back on the pad. To the outside again, and we're going to come to the upper arch. And work that Z pattern on that upper arch. Or little circles. If you feel a spot that's tender, again, be gentle with it. We're going to feel so good after this. We've given our whole body through reflexology a massage. Ancient Chinese secret, I say. Thousands of years. And then come to the inside and then work along that middle area below the arch, where some, it may be a little tender. Relaxing, allowing that fascia to release. Breathing as you go, back and forth. Some of us have really low arches, some have really high, so it's going to feel different on each of us. Come to the inside again, and then work that heel in the lower arch. Back you go. When I do this in massage, people do fall asleep. So I'm sorry if you're getting tired, anybody?
Yeah.
But it does feel really good. And if you find a spot, just stay with it. Notice it. Be gentle with it. Your body's going to tell you how much to press. Round about that heel.
Do you know where this, or you know, the spot in the heel that, if you have plantar fasciitis, if you hit this one spot in the heel, you just about jump off the table.
Well, it's usually where the arch inserts, but with everybody it's different because everybody has the way that they walk. Some, when I do inversion and eversion, some tend to what they call pronate a little more, where their foot is turned in. So it can be different spots, but it's usually around that upper arch right at the top of the heel, where it'll just.
I know when I heard to my podiatrist, when I was having symptoms of plantar fasciitis, he felt around and all of a sudden he pressed the spot like this.
Yeah, it can hurt. They do injections and all that. So let's work to the outside and then move up. Finding that area. Come all the way back up to that shoulder spot by your pinky toe. Give that a little love. And then come to the inside with your big toe, and we'll finish with that so you can allow that big toe really strengthening. How'd that feel? Happy feet. Yay, we can do little qigong love with that. Just okay. Now let's take our block. And we're going to move on and still be aware of where our feet are. Our feet are going to be planted firmly on the ground. Take the block between your knees, press in, and we're going to come to a standing. Really using those glutes, strong body. What's your triple S doing? Let's come to halfway. So bum comes to the back of the room. Lift your toes. Notice your feet during this. I don't want you to worry so much about your glutes. Sit back in the chair so you're scrunching back without flopping. And where did that weight distribute? Did you see the difference? Did it go from toes to heels? Let's try it again. So we're going to move through our heels, we're going to stand thinking about our feet. Okay. So first press. Now, be aware of what your feet are doing. We have to do this to balance, don't we? Is it equally balanced? Come to prayer. Squat a little. Come back with your bum to the back of the wall. Let's turn to the left. Where is the weight distributed on your feet? Come to center. Come to right. Opening up that shoulder. Are your toes gripping? What are they doing? Come to center, stand up again. What did that feel like in your feet? Feel the difference where the weight was distributed? Now come back down halfway, and we're gonna just roll it through from front of the feet that are grabbing to the heels as we sit down without flopping. So I'm putting your attention into a different spot of your body. We're using our brains. So let's roll through again as we stand up, pressing into the block. Feel it. Wrong body. Let's put our weight on our right foot. Just kind of lean. Still have to have it a little bit on the left so you don't fall. Now let's go to our left. Leaning Tower of Pisa. And right. Feel the difference? Feel it in your hips. Left. Now equal. Do this in Qigong. They say 50% or 70%. And then come back down to a squat. Lift your toes. Feel the weight in your heels and then come back. Sit without flopping. Good job. Okay, did you notice the difference there? Okay, let's stand up and I want you to act as if that block is there. We're going to roll through that foot as we stand. Standing. Take the right arm. You can touch the chair, fine. That's okay if you can't. Look to the left. Now look to the right. That feels better. Arm up. Left hand comes down. Look to the right. Opening up that shoulder. Look to the left. Good. Arm comes back up. Now let's hands down. Where is your weight distributed in those feet? Wiggle your toes. Maybe lift up those toes one by one. See what that weight does. Now, I know we do this with a chair. Be careful. Let's come to the front of our toes and see if you can just lift up a tiny bit without holding onto the chair. And then back down. Good job. Now let's walk to the back of the chair. And we can hold on to the chair. And we're going to come up in our Barbie toes. So feel that. And then we're going to roll through that whole foot. We're feeling what it is like in the calf. Now come up on your heels, stretching the back of that calf. Now, this time I'm going to ask you to come through the foot, but we're going to come on the outside. Just feel what it feels like. So come on the outside and come through to that pinky and then distribute the weight on all the toes. What did that feel like? Not any different? Okay. So now we're going to come through the whole foot again, back on the pad, through that arch area, up on our heels. Now we're going to come through, when we come through on the inside of our foot, you're going to feel what it feels like to pronate. My knees, I'm going to open my knees a little bit. It hurts, but some people walk like that. So then come back up. That hurts my bunions. It's not a good thing, but I'm being aware of what I shouldn't be walking like. Okay, now equal it out with all your toes. That feels so much better. Come up on your toes, feel the stretch. All the way through, up on the heels again. Stretching that. And now just come through normally. All the way through, equal distribution. Up and back, and just roll it back and forth as if there's a ball there. Happy feet. That kind of hurt. So I'm glad that I am aware of how I place my feet when I walk. And runners do this all the time. They get evaluations and assessments of what their foot looks like. Okay, bend those knees. You can lift one foot up, the other just kind of jogging in place to release that a little bit. Good. Okay, let's face the window. The inside foot is going to be back just a little bit. I want you to feel through the whole foot. So the heel is down, the toes are down. Now we're going to roll back and forth with the weight, distributing that weight. We do this anyway when we do our little airplane, when we transfer the weight, but feel what it feels like. Now do 50% on each. Now lift that outside arm. Now we're going to transfer all the weight to the front outside foot. And we're going to lean forward, strong core, and lift the inside foot as the hand comes to horizontal. Put the foot back down on the inside, arm's going to come back up. Now transfer all the weight to the back foot. Lift the outside foot. I just want you to feel the difference. Oh. And then put it back down. That hurts in the thigh, doesn't it? It's really creating the impact. So transfer the weight again to the outside foot. We come through the whole foot up on the toes. I do before I lift up on the inside. Outside arm comes horizontal. I'm going to flex my foot, which means nose to toes. Now point the foot on the inside. Now flex the foot. Now point and come back down with the foot and come back up with the arm. Do you feel the difference? Now equal balance on each of the feet. Let's turn the other way. So now our inside foot is going to be back a little bit. Let's rock back and forth so you can feel the difference with the weight. Lift that outside arm. We're going to start to transfer all our weight on the outside foot. We're going to come through that whole foot on the inside, up on the toes before we lift up with the foot, and the outside arm comes horizontal. What's your triple S doing? And come back down with the foot. Toes can greet the floor. And then distribute that weight and arm comes up again. Try it again. Transfer the weight. I'm rolling through my whole foot on the inside, up on my toes, and then I lift up and the arm comes horizontal. Breathing, strong, strong leg. Back up with the arm. Foot comes down. I'm going to touch with my toes and then come through to the heel. Now find yourself equal again, 50-50 on each of the feet. Good. This time we're going to bring our palm all the way, the arm all the way through and palm up. So we're going to add some different brain and plasticity stuff. Transfer the weight to the front. Bring that inside foot up. The arm will come all the way through, palm up. Want more challenge? You can take your hand off the chair. You don't have to. Both palms up. Feel all the four corners of that foot gripping into the mat. You are strong. The hip is strong. Breathe. And come up. Arm. Hand can come to chair. Foot comes back down. Good job. Let's turn the other way and try that on the other side. We didn't do that the last time. So transfer your weight. Your arm is going to come up. Let's come all the way through with our arm and palm up. Transferring the weight to the outside foot. The inside foot, I'm rolling through I'm gonna bring my leg up, my foot up a little bit. Palm is gonna come all the way through as if I'm drawing a half circle. Palm is up. If you want a little more challenge, you can take your other hand off the chair and feel how that strong foot grips into the mat. All the way up. And come back up, and foot comes down. Good job. You are really strong. Okay, let's come to goddess. So notice where our feet are here. A little bit different position. Where is the weight distribution? There. We're at a 45-degree angle, so it comes at a different angle all the way up. We feel it all the way up here. So bend down into your knees, just a titch, sitting the bum back. And come back up again. Arms come to goalpost, or in the cement. And we're going to come up to our right, stretching, gripping that mat with our toes. How about you? Coming back to the W and up again to the left. Come back down. Feel what your toes are doing. Just concentrate on your toes and let your arms do their own thing. Up, we're stretching our body, but what are the toes doing? We're really gripping. Feel how strong our feet are. Equal distribution on both feet, otherwise we would fall, wouldn't we? Back down. Now, stay here. Lift the right toes up. And you turn towards your right foot. Come to center and toes back down. Lift your left toes up. Turn to the left. Breathing. And as you turn to center, your toes can come back down. Now we're going to do it a little differently. Let's see if we can do it. You can hold on to the chair if you want. So we're going to lift our right heel up. Turn to the right. Feel the difference? Come to center. Heel comes back down. Lift our left heel up. Left facing. And as we turn to center, the left heel comes back down. Now let's do both. We're going to lift our right toes up. We'll turn to the right. Center. Toes come down. Lift our left heel up. Turn to the left. Center. Heel comes down. Lift our right heel up. Turn to the right. Center. Heel comes down. Lift our left toes up. Turn to the left. Center and toes come down. How'd that feel? I know. I'm really challenging you. Yay! Okay, good job. All right, now let's do our cross arm, because I think if we do it every single time, we're going to get better. So I want you to take, we're going to go probably opposite ways. Let's see if I can do this. Maybe we won't. Left leg behind as you cross. Oh, good. We're going to go the same way. And then open up. Good. Now, right leg behind as we cross. And open up. Go slow. Good job. So let's do front cross. And open up. Back cross. What are your feet doing? And open up. Notice what you're doing. Mine are kind of like, okay, front cross, open up, back cross, open up. Now do it at your own pace, and you can open this up if you want. It's called the grapevine, if you were ever in dance. But just practice, get your mind out of it and just go.
Get my mind off.
Oh. And even if you just put a toe, I'm finding as I flow through, sometimes doing it lightly with my feet. Start grabbing with the toe and coming all the way through the heel, moving through that. Is it getting easier? It will, I
It will.
promise.
I'm looking forward.
I told you. At like 16 years of age, I was like, this is for the birds. I couldn't do it. So, okay, come to your chair.
What I find interesting is the brain remembers doing this and the body says, I don't do that.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. So the more you practice, so here you are with your toothbrush.
I remember my great outfit doing it. With the
Exactly.
body coming out my head.
Exactly, exactly. So step the right foot back. Feel that whole foot. I'm all the way back through my heel. You feel the placement. Come up, your arms. Good. Really strong bodies. If I came around, you're not going to move. Is it equal? Rock back and forth. Is it equal with your weight? Now take your left. Is that correct? Put your left hand on your left thigh. And then open up to the right, as if you're saying, hey, over here. Where's your distribution of weight on your feet? Good. Now come back up. Now let's take our right hand and see what happens. Right hand to the left thigh, opening up. Do you feel the difference with your weight distribution on your feet? I'm a little more forward on my feet. How about you? And then come back up. Good job. Step the right foot forward. Left foot comes back. Make sure you have that whole foot on the ground. So I feel it all the way back up through my glute. Really strong. Come forward. Watch your neutral pelvis. Place the right hand on the right thigh. Look to the left. Where's the weight distribution on your feet? Now take that left arm that's up in the air and just bring it to the right thigh. And then the right arm comes up and you change the weight. Waver back and forth. Find your weight distribution on those feet. Really strong. Breathing. And then bring both hands to the chair. Step the right foot back to meet with the left. My knees are bent. I am almost back on my heels, okay? Let's lift our toes up so you feel that weight. And then press that bum to the back wall. Come into a downward dog, stretching out those shoulders. Say hello to your toes. Wave at your toes. You can bring them up just to make sure that that weight is basically on the back of your heels. Now we're going to press into the chair. We're going to come forward through the whole foot. So make sure your chair is on the mat and press forward. Down, straightening the body, straight angle all the way up through the core. Feel that, how strong your shoulders are. Where are you on your feet? I'm kind of on my toes on my fingers, okay? And that's okay. Put your weight on your heels. Feel that stretches it really a lot, doesn't it? Okay. So put it, now come up on your toes. Good. And roll through about halfway and then come back to downward dog. So knees are bent. Good job. Bring those toes up again. We're going to go all the way through again. So pushing forward, pushing on the chair, down into the chair, coming up to plank. I'm going to come up on my toes with plank, pushing my shoulders down. Straight line. And then moving through the whole foot as I go back into downward dog. Bending my knees. Watch your skull, spine, sacrum. Should be in alignment. Left hand stays on the chair, right hand comes horizontal. Now I'm almost back on my heels a little. And I'm gonna open up, I'm gonna twist up and lift that right arm up. Trying to keep my spine, my skull, my sacrum in alignment. Good job. And we're gonna thread through about 5 times. So thread the needle, very slow flow, intentional. Notice your core and notice what your feet are doing. Is there a transfer of weight? More time. Slowly open up. Right hand comes to the chair when you're ready. Left hand comes out horizontal. And then turn to the left, opening up. Feeling, I'm on the inside of my right foot. How about you? Now flow through and notice the distribution of your weight on your feet. They're amazing things, aren't they? With those tiny, tiny bones, they allow for all of our weight to be distributed at different points. So when you get to about 5 or 6, you can stop. And left hand comes to chair. Step the right foot forward, left foot forward. Let's turn toward the windows. And let's have our inside foot be the back foot for our Niagara Falls. This is really where we feel the feet. The front foot, our heel's gonna be to the toe in alignment on that steel cable. And when you're ready, and you balance back and forth, 50-50 with the weight, then take your balancing pole up. Now put the weight maybe 70-30 on the back foot. Not as secure as it. Now put 70% on the front foot. I want you to feel this. And I'm lifting up my back heel a little bit when I do that. That's interesting. Now back and forth. Good. Now we're going to transfer all our weight to the front foot. Come up on the toes in our back foot. And without looking, we're going to find that heel to toe placement on that table. Now you can look if you want to make sure you're still on the cord. Pretty good. Now again, transfer weight to the front foot, coming up on the toes on the back, finding the heel to toe placement. You have to feel it with your mind. Without looking. Now come equal. 50-50. Back and forth. Now we're going to put all our weight on the back foot. We're going to come up on the heel this time. Lifting up that foot. The toe is going to find the heel. That takes a little more. Feeling and then balance 50-50. Good job. Now weight on the back foot. You do it on your own. Transferring. Walking backwards without losing your balance. Try 3 or 4 steps. And notice what the weight does on your feet. Happy feet. Happy. Good job. Okay. take your outside knee. Hand can be on the chair. We're gonna bring the outside knee up. And then we're gonna place it behind us. And come all the way from toe to heel. My inside leg is bent. Good. Now come up, both arms. Really neutral pelvis, feeling the strength. Are you equally balanced on both feet? Good job. Breathe. Long bodies. Now hand to the chair again. And then take that knee up. And we're gonna turn it toward the chair. Can you do that? Okay. And we're gonna step down.
That was easy.
Now, we're going to put all our weight on our right foot. We're gonna have to lean a little bit. And some of you, so I'm gonna bend this left foot and I'm gonna do a little out to the side. And actually my heel is facing the ground. Try to keep placement of that bamboo pole all the way through your body as you do maybe 8. Lots of weight on that right foot, right? And then place the left foot down. Find all 4 corners of that left foot. Transfer the weight to the left foot. I'm going to bend this knee or bend the foot, and I'm going to come out to the side a little bit. Really slow it down on the way in. I want to really protect. We're working our adductors on the inside and our abductors on the outside. So you can do this while you're brushing your teeth too. Whoa. And then put your foot down. Now equal balance, and you can kind of rock back and forth. Let's step both feet back. We're going to do our little hula hoop. Feeling really good on the knees, hips. Notice what happens with the distribution of your weight. Now the other way, your feet. It's not all the same, is it? It's changing as you move. Really strong, happy feet. Okay, now this is the other one. Right foot, we're gonna stand. If you want to use your block, we're gonna do tree. So your toe would be on the block. I'm gonna bring my left knee up. You can use the wall, you can use your chair, whichever. And then I'm gonna externally rotate my knee. I'm gonna bring it on either my calf or my thigh or block. Find your focus point, something that's not moving. It can be on the floor, it can be on the wall. And then notice where your weight is. On your foot. Toes are dripping. Let's say dripping, but and then be the tree in the wind. And what does that do to your weight in that foot? Happy feet. So glad we gave them a massage because they're getting their workout. Come to prayer. So grateful for our feet. And it's okay if you come down, find your placement again. Left foot comes down. I'm going to take my right foot and put it over my left knee if that's available to you. And then sit back into that, just allowing that outside hip. And you can tap it. Sometimes I tap it to say, relax, relax. And then you can circle that foot if you want. One way and the other way, just releasing all those tight muscles that we use, muscles and tendons that we use to find our balance in our tree. Arms up, and then bring that right foot back down. This time we're going to go on the left. Is that correct? Okay. Finding 4 corners of that foot. If you want to bring your knee up, externally rotate, put it on a block. Your thigh, sometimes with shiny or silky pants, that's hard. So wherever, now this time, rather than the one that's on the ground, now find your weight, find your focal point. What is the foot on your leg doing? I want you to put your focus on that. What does that feel like? Breathing. That helps me stabilize a little bit more. Put the focus on that rather than on the one that's standing there. Breathing. Fall, it's okay. Back up. Prayer, bring the right foot down. Let's take our left foot over the right knee. And you can sit back into that. You can have hands on chairs, or you can bring hands to prayer, whichever you feel comfortable with. Doesn't matter. You're stretching out that hip. Feel what that right foot, my right foot feels so strong now. Circle the foot, not the one on the ground. Good. Dorsiflex, plantar flex, whatever you need to get that released, and then bring it back down to the ground. Hands to prayer. Close your eyes for a minute. Grip all the toes into that mat. And just feel how strong. Now allow a release through the bottom of your feet. Maybe the tension that you felt in holding some of those poses. So pretend there's a hole in the bottom of the middle of the foot, and you're just allowing that to go down through the ground. Strong roots. Back to the chair. So again, I'm going to end with just putting my feet out in front of me. I'm going to do some nice circles with my feet. They're happy feet. They are strong feet. Hopefully that didn't hurt anyone. If it does, ice yourself. Be gentle with your walking. Then I'm going to pedal them. Being strong. What's your core doing? Now put your toes on the ground. Really press into those toes. Feel the difference. Now bring the heels out. And I have to scoot forward a little bit. Heels on the ground. And let's try to open up our toes again. Do you notice a difference? We've really worked these feet. We've been noticing our feet today. They are beautiful. Never said that about my feet. And look at them and allow them to wave back at you. Wiggle the toes. Gentleness. And then put them on the ground. Hands to prayer. Intertwine your fingers this time. So we're doing a little bit different than our Garuda Mudra. A fist up if you can, in front of you and over your head. Strong core. So this is the same one that I taught you when we're working on our posture, right? So without overemphasizing and making our diaphragm come way out, put them just a little bit back, perhaps on top of our head. You really have to use your core, don't you? Relax. And come back forward. Straight arms if you're able. And then back again. Notice what your shoulders are doing. And what are your feet doing? And forward again. Back. This is a protective mechanism for the shoulders in doing our W's. And you can do this before you get out of bed. You can do it while you're watching TV. You feel that all the way down into this deltoid part as well, and all the way back into the shoulders. If it hurts, please don't do it. And then come back down. Good. Right hand behind, left hand to right knee. Lift up. So, practice it. Breathe. Come to center, left hand behind, right hand to knee. Up before we turn to the left, opening up that shoulder. Wow, that feels so good. What are your feet doing? What's your core doing? Breathing and come to center again. Now, if it's available to you, let's lean forward, and it's okay if you can't, just watch. Come forward with your chest. We're stretching out our back. We're really bringing the weight on our feet. Touch your toes if you're able, and just hold. What's your triple S doing? That's why we bend our knees. You should have strong cores. Should be in alignment. And then press from your toes up. Hands to prayer again. And close your eyes. And I want you to imagine your beautiful, happy feet. As you walk through today, or even sit, just notice. Notice each and every toe. Notice your heels. Notice how they feel. Notice how you distribute your weight. Light in me breathes the light in me. Namaste.